And some people even call me Professor Tuck. So right now we're doing a mic check. I'd like to know how my mic is doing. So I'm trying to talk a little bit lower. It's supposed to have built-in noise cancellation, plug and play, ready to go out of the box the whole time, whole 9 yards. So I'd like to know if this is good or if I'm still too loud. If I am, then I need to figure something else out. But I went to. I'm gonna wait till some more people get in here. But I went to the live or to the post office this morning. Didn't think that that my inverter was going to show up because it showed that it was in Concho. Okay, audio is good. It's great. Okay, is it better than usual, guys? Um, but anyways, the lady had me convinced that it probably wouldn't be until the night, and I'm like, well, I kind of put my whole day on this. So I went across the street to the dollar store or to the Dollar Tree, and I bought some food. So we're gonna kind of go through some of that today, and then also the girl that I get rides from, she contacted me. Ended up going into Sholo with her, and at Tractor Supply, I bought this for Sam for like $7. She is about to be in heaven, but I wanted to wait and show you. Yes, way better than normal. Okay, perfect. That's good. And I don't have to talk so loud either. I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can see Sam because she's going to love this damn thing. All right, Sam. Over here. Sit. No, you sit. You wait. Wait. I know, it's like Christmas. Yes, I know. Stop. Well, dog, I know you're going nuts, huh? Hold on. There's the scissors. Okay, maybe that should tear it. Okay. Sam, I know you're going nuts. It's gonna take a minute, okay, little girl? They put this thing in there really good. Okay, that should fix it. Okay, don't poke my eye out. Sit now. Wait. I said wait. No, you wait. You wait. No, I said wait. All right, go for it. Yes, this is a dog and her bone. She loves these bones. This, I know if I try and take it from her, she will bite me. And that I learned that one a long time ago. These things, when I would give them to her out on trail, she'd run and hide them because she was so worried that I would take them from her. But I'm surprised that that's not what she's doing right now. So, but anyways, all right. So this is going good. All right. So you guys get to see Sam enjoy her bone a little bit. All right. So she's going to be mowing on that for a while. So let's bring it back to here. Oops, wrong direction. Bring that up. All right. Let's kind of put this here so that you guys aren't blinded. Okay, that's cool, Bucknut. Nice to see you, buddy. Nice to see you, Colt, Matthew. Okay, so I went shopping today. So as you can see, I got peanut butter. Um, this is the only Nutella that they had, so this is going to be something. I got some peanut butter bars. I got a couple of these. I don't think I grabbed any chicken. No, that was my problem. Yeah, I didn't grab any. I thought I grabbed chicken, but apparently I didn't. I got a couple loaves of bread. I got some Chef Boyardee. I got some tortillas. I got me some snack stuff like some lemon heads, some Dove chocolate, and some Chips Ahoy cookies. Because you know me, I'm a chocoholic. Love it. Hey, what's up, Invisible Man? Nice to see you. Might have a might can yeah, definitely Bucknut. That's probably why my left hand was itching. Probably because it's a good idea. Um, Can you hear me now? Are you guys able to hear me now? Okay, I'll wait till somebody tells me and then I'll keep going if you guys can hear me. Otherwise, I'm going to, because yeah, the power went off on this. I don't know how, but the power went off on this. Let's see, is it still on? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, these things are not, I have to charge this. I got to charge this, but now we know the mic works and it works well. Let me put it over here. So actually, this is part of what I got today. Was I told you guys I get the mic set and I got the inverter. So this is the mic set, and it has the dead cat. It's got a dual thing, so if it's an iPhone or whatever, and also it comes with two of these, and it comes in a little case that I'll actually show you some of this stuff. Let's go right in here. So as you can see, there is the inverter. Okay, I've already got 3 things plugged into it. I got 2 power blocks. It's got an LCD screen on it. It's pretty cool. It worked right out of the box. It was pretty easy to put together. As you see, it's connected to a battery there. That's a marine battery for RVs. So if I decide I want to put it in and I get like a generator or something like that, I can do that. So this battery will be able to be used in the trailer if I want. Then as you see, these are the lights that Bucknut sent me. I'm actually got them being powered by it right now as well. So I'm just kind of like figuring out how much this is going to take and what this is going to do and stuff like that. So, all right. So you guys can hear me now, right? So, all right. So let me put this off to the side. All right, guys. So you guys got to see a little bit of what it is that I got today. Let me see here. All right, so let's pull out a loaf of bread. So I put it all in my. Oops. There we go. I put it all. Oh, hold on, that's still not right. There we go. I put all this in my Teton bag, my 75-liter bag, and it cost me $116 for everything that I got. The meat was cheap, so I got 2 pounds of hamburger and a pound of bacon as well, so that I can do like the breakfast with Tuck and stuff like that. But all this fit in my 75-liter bag, and it was just as heavy as if I'd gone through all my like I was still on trail. It was kind of weird to have that weight on my back again. Sam, you're just going nuts, aren't you? Okay, so now I know that that's the used one. Okay, so let's get the soup going. We're gonna use the small pan because this isn't a really big. I don't need something that big. So still useful even after trail, because something this small doesn't really need anything major. So let's see here. I bet you I gotta add water to this. Do not add water. Saucepan, heat, stirring occasionally. Okay. Let me find a spoon real quick. That's as good of a spoon as any. Oh yeah, and by the way, guys, I just got home. That's why my bedroom looks like crap, because I've been gone, and then I came back for a couple of hours, and then I hopped on again. I rode with her all the way out to Show Low. So, wow, I'm just surprised. Okay. No water whatsoever? I'm sorry, I can't just go. Well, it says do not add water. Hold on. Let's break this. Hey, Sam, you want a can? You want a can? Oh, I know, it's a smorgasbord tonight, isn't it? We're gonna... So let's get this started. Where did my lighter go? There's my lighter. There we go. Now let's get this buttered. So I am very particular about the mayonnaise that I use. Growing up, my mom was very big on like what kind of mayonnaise we got. And so we always had Best Foods. And so whenever I go get mayonnaise, I get Best Foods. Well, in my 20s, I tried experimenting outside of Best Foods because I thought my mom was just, you know, a little, just a little much on that. But, you know, after getting to taste the different mayonnaise, yeah, I don't think I prefer Best Foods. I will eat like the bargain basement if that's all I got. But usually I figure out a way to come out of pocket for Best Foods. So, and I'll get to you guys' comments here in a minute. If you guys want me to read your comments, please put them in all caps because sometimes when there's a lot of chat going on, it's kind of hard for me to really keep up with it. So I just go through and I read the questions that are in all caps. So if you got something to say to me, you got something you want me to respond to or whatever, make sure you put it in all caps. That's you're pretty much guaranteed. Now, I may scroll a little fast and miss some, but you know, it is what it is. So there's that. I love Best Foods mayonnaise. Okay. This is boiling way too quick. What did I do with my... There it is. Okay. And this is really not a lot of soup. Most of it gets left in the can. Okay. So, let us put this in there so we can get this out of the way. So this is peel back. So that means I need to put this in a Ziploc bag. Anyways, let's see what you guys got to say. What's up, Phil? Okay. Howdy. What's up, Rails? Okay. What's up, Smoking Outdoors? All right. 100-watt freezer. Just strip positive and ground wires. Connect them. It'll keep it frozen. I don't... Oh, to like a freezer and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm at a stage in my life where I did everything the cheap way, the homeless way, the hey, let's just figure out a way to make this work with what we got. But the thing is at the end of the day, yeah, you survive, but do you have anything? Oh yeah, that's definitely good. But do you have anything to show for it? And that's the thing when you buy cheap stuff. Now, some things you do got to buy cheap because you're kind of constantly replace it. Like your sleep gear. I mean, you don't... Well, there's really good stuff that's bargain basement. So like sleep gear, if you're building like an inch bag or you're looking to go out and be budget friendly, the $35 the sleeping bag, the 30-degree comfort, that's as good as any $100 bag that you'll buy. The only problem is it's stitching. So if you know how to sew or if you're good at stitching, then you could go in there and reinforce the stitching, and you know you've got a great bag for a bargain basement price. So some things you do need to buy cheap. Sometimes you do just need to survive. But you also have to think about it from the perspective of, at some point, you want to stop having to constantly replace stuff. So you start figuring out what it is that you can do to be able to reduce costs. So that's why instead of just going and buying the cheap hammock from I don't think I'm going to do cheese on this tonight. Yeah, no cheese on this. I'll save that for real cheese. You know, it just... so that's why I bought the Shanty Line Outfitter, their hammock. It was good. It was about. I mean, you're not paying a lot, but you got a lot. You got a bug net, you got a tarp, you got you got the hammock. But the best part about it is that you got you got extra long straps, and usually you have to go and buy those separately, but they come with it, and so that makes it worth the $120. I think it's actually, if they brought the price up to 160, I think that would be pushing it, but I think that that it's definitely worth 140, 150, 160. And you're only getting it for 120, so you're still getting it at an entry level price, but you're getting something that is going to be a little bit more durable. Now, the only problem you got to worry about is, like with anything that you buy that's a little bit better quality, the material is going to be thinner and it's going to be easier to destroy. That's why Sam was able to basically chew apart my hammock when it was flailing in the wind. There it is. So, got this, got that. All right, we're just gonna have something simple because I just got home. I'm like, oh well, I gotta do my live stream, and I wanted to chat with you guys and make dinner and stuff like that. But I have a question for you guys. Type 1, if you want me to go, if you want me to start my lives probably around, let's say 8-9 o'clock Eastern time, or do you prefer this time? So 1, if you prefer this time. 2, if you think I should do it later, to kind of open it up and give you guys a little bit more room, because I know some of you, like Bucknut, he's usually coming home from work at about this time. But now that I have lighting, I'm indoors, I can do live streams a little bit later. So okay, so do you want a kitten or cat? Oh, I need a kitten. I prefer black cats though. I need one just for the field mice around here. And by the way, that can was opened courtesy of a P52. Okay, and I find that because I'm left-handed, that if I just use it left-handed, it's just you kind of do it a little bit backwards. That you get that it works just as good for you as if you were like a right-hander. So hold on a second here. I think, there's too much light coming in here. So the next thing I need to work on is curtains. But with it being cold out, I wanted to make sure to bring those curtains down. And I really didn't like those blankets. I want to have something a little bit more professional. Earlier, if it's later, then I'll leave before it's over because of family time. Okay. It's good to know. I don't know if I can even eat all this. Get your bone and get back up there. Damn it, dog. Don't be biting at me. Go get your bone. But anyways, today's been busy. I woke up. I was on my way in. I was gonna stop by the library, get a charge, wait till like mid-afternoon to get up there to the library, or to the post office. But as I was walking, and I'm probably about a third of the way there. I probably walked about a mile and a half. One of my neighbors sees me and he's like, "Hey!" And so he stops. He gives me a ride. He says, "You going?" He's like, I told him I was going up to the post office, and so he showed me the back way to it. So if I was going the way I normally would have been, it'd have been like a 15 to 18 mile round trip to go down by the library and then go all the way up into, we'll call it the east part of town. So the library's in the west and the post office is in the east, and there's probably about 4 miles or so that separates the two. But he showed me a back way to be able to get in there so that I could do it in 3.5 miles, which is 7 miles round trip. So it cuts my trip in half because he showed me the back way, and it's so simple. Like, it drops you right in front of the post office. Like, you walk 200 feet down the road and you're in the post office. Yeah, black cats are my favorite. My mom had a black cat. Um, when she passed, I got it. It was actually my first animal as an adult. I fell in love with black cats because it was like he would bring in like he was such a good hunter that the birds would start chirping around him and they would start dive bombing him, and he'd bring in like 2 or 3 birds a day. He'd bring in snakes. He'd bring in whatever it was that he could get. And if there was any cat that came on the territory or on the property, man, that cat was up. And so I would actually go help him get the other cats off the property, just because that was kind of like our thing to do. Okay. Oh yeah, that was last night. But anyways, not only that, when I would come home, he'd come running down the driveway just like a dog. He was an indoor-outdoor cat. Absolutely loved being outdoors, unless it was cold, wet, or rainy. Cold or rainy, and he'd be outside for most of the day. And when I'd wake up in the morning, it was like having a hat. So he always kept me warm at night on those cold nights, because he was with me in the first house, and he used to climb up the tree, go on the roof, and come and claw, because I was on the second story, come and claw at my at my window to let him in. He actually you could hear him as he was coming in, because he'd have to go up in through the chimney, come down here, and he actually learned how to get into the house without me even having to open anything. So medium hair. He wasn't like a Chihuahua. Yeah, he wasn't a long hair. No, he wasn't like one of those like buzzed cats, but yeah, his hair was probably about that long. I feed feral cats. My question is if cats are not pack animals, how is it that they congregate in such a pack? Can someone who knows more about cats than me tell me that? Because the nice thing about cats is they always got to keep their distance from each other, but they tend to congregate. I mean, when I did that short stint on the Florida Trail this year, one of the there was a bunch of feral cats, and there's probably about 30 or 40 of them in that tiny little space. And I wouldn't have expected that. I'd have figured that there'd only be maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 cats in that little space. But anyways, this inverter seems to work pretty well. It's actually 500 watts. I was wondering why it was a little bit more. But when I went back to add it to my cart, I had the 500 watt. So this is a 500 watt inverter. So it's doing like 120 volts. It's got 12.2 volts is what it's putting out. I don't know any of those. I got to really get into understanding power. And maybe it might open up some opportunities for me. Maybe they're sister, brother cats or boy, girlfriend cats. I don't know, maybe. Okay. That's a possibility. Yeah, when I got home the first time today, the goats got themselves so tangled up. I came in. They weren't tangled up when I came in. When I came in, sat down, had a smoke, had something to drink, took a moment, took the magic dragon, and then decided to go out there. In that short period of time, which is maybe 30 minutes, these goats managed to wrap and tie the leash around around Loverboy's leg. And if I would have not gone out there, that goat would have lost his leg. He limped on it for a minute, but he's walking on it fine. But man, I don't get it. They're worse than farm girls' dogs. Like they would sit there and intertwine themselves so much. I wonder. I wonder if I should just do something like that, because they're gonna be gone in like maybe 3 weeks, a month tops. So they're gonna be gone real quick. So it's like I'm starting to. I need to shore up the fence now that I have time tomorrow. I'm gonna work on the fence, but I still have a 30-foot cable, a dual end cable that I could use on the on the two goats and put them around a tree at least during the day. And then at night, I could probably bring them in the pen. I don't know, but they've already destroyed one wall of that fence. It's already falling apart. So, but so tomorrow we're gonna be doing the breakfast with Tuck. My brain will be a lot less fried because like today was just like I did a lot of miles. And it took a lot of time to do everything that I did, even though I got rides here and there. You know, I mean, I was gone for like, let's see, I left at like maybe 8:30. I was to the post office by 9:30, but that was because I got a ride. And then it was another hour and a half walk back. And then like within an hour after getting back, I ended up getting a ride to go back up to the post office to check to see if my package was there. And I rode in with her to Sholo just because I wanted a social interaction. You know, it's nice to have a little bit of a social interaction with somebody, you know, like a person face to face. This is nice, and this really fulfills me. But you know, sometimes you just need to see a real face in front of you. Sometimes. But so this just chicken and dumpling soup. Not bad. It's hearty. So tell me one good thing that happened in your day today. What's the best thing that happened in your day today? If anybody wants to answer that question for me, I'd love to know. This is something, and the reason why I do this, I do this with a lot of my friends or people that I'm really close to. The reason, okay, I still got 2 bars. Is everybody still here? Okay, I didn't end up in jail. Oh, that's good. The law of attraction, you can either attract negative or attract positive. You guys see me, I'm usually in a happy mood for most of the time. You woke up? Okay. Is that the only good thing that happened to you today? That sounds pretty bad, man. I mean, I'm sure that you had some cool things happen to you. Like, I don't know, you had a great cup of coffee this morning. But what it does, Samantha, get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, you want that? Go for it. Go for it. You can have it. She's licking the pan, doing doggy dishes. The law of attraction works like this. If you think positive, if you talk positive, and you figure out ways to keep yourself in a positive mood, you will attract positive things that come to you. It all starts right here, because your thoughts help determine your mood. Do you look at something as the glass is half empty or the glass is half full? You said one thing. That's the first thing that I remember. Okay. Completed a sprinkler project. I woke up, yeah. Okay, good thing that USAID, one thing. That's the first thing that I remember. Oh, the USAID? Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm really happy with what Elon Musk and Doge is doing. I mean, we still have time to wait for this stuff, but from what I understand, he's actually doing this on his own dime. Okay? And there's one conflict of interest that I have in that whole thing. The regulators, that he's the not just his regulators, but he's going after everybody. He's not just going after the people that were Samantha, do not chew on my bowl. He's going after those people, but he also has a conflict of interest because now he's also going after so like what is in it for him? What's in it for him? Excuse me. What's in it for him is now he can cut out a lot of that bureaucracy so that now he can get better contracts, more contracts, get the government contracts, because he has this philanthropic goal as he wants to get us to be in the space age. So, you've had enough tonight. So, but anyways, I think what Elon Musk is doing is good. I just want to call into, at least bring to account the conflict of interest that's there. He may be doing great, but if he's doing great and then enriching himself by using his influence, that's something that we need to call into question, because that's the whole point of corruption. It's like when you've got one group fighting against the other group because the other group is the worst group. They're committing atrocities. Well, the group that goes up against them, in order to take that power, has to commit the same atrocities, still reinstitute the same system. So did anything change? No, just the person in charge. Okay. If you really want a great explanation of that, like to be able to see it play out in more of a dramatic session, there's a show on Netflix. It's post-apocalyptic. You'd love it. It's called The 100. Watch that, because that's actually what ends up happening. Is in order to take out the corruption, they became just as corrupt as those that they were fighting against. So nothing actually ever changed, and this seems to be, repeated in history over and over again. So that's why I'm calling it into question. Well, you know what? Token on the Magic Dragon's fun. Oh yeah, still healing from surgery. How are you? It was the toe, right? And coffee. Always coffee. Oh yes. Why do you think I went and bought me an extra thing of coffee just so I could make sure that I had coffee? Oh, you got to see snow on grass? Nice. Yes, thank God for coffee. I hope you heal quickly. Yes. They have X accounts for the SECR and IRS for people to report waste, abuse, etc. Okay, that's understandable. Okay, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a while. Thanks, Nicole. I'm doing better than I thought I would be. Okay, under Doge. But how do you watch the watchers? Because that's essentially what's happening. You have a group of people, the government, who set up to watch you. Now they have somebody behind them to watch them. But who's watching those people? And if we're in that much of a stage of paranoia, it makes no sense. So many people forget that Emancipation Proclamation was an executive order. I did not know that. I hadn't read that part of history. If you want some interesting things to read, though. Oh yes, you must have seen it. Yeah, it's definitely good. Inside Man is good too. If you like Good Place, you'll like Inside Man. But hold on here. Okay, so if you want something really cool to go read, go on Congress's website. There's a section in there that has all the treaties that the United States has signed, has been under. The oldest treaty that we are a part of, I think it's either 50 AD. No, it's BC. It's like either 50 BC or 500 BC. It's called the Treaty of the Jury, which is what sets up the whole jury trial system to begin with. Even though we declared our independence in 1776, we're still under 2,000-year-old treaties. And this is one of the things that you'll learn, that as a nation comes to be recognized on the international stage, part of that is that they have to accept certain treaties that have been in place for thousands of years. It's just part of their normal operating business. It's like terms and conditions or your EULA. So, What's up, Chris? Really, it's a question of who's watching the watchers, Chris. With Doge, who's holding them accountable, and is there a conflict of interest with Elon Musk because he's going after the very people that regulate his mega business. So, but they are government and here to help. Yeah, that only came around in the 1930s. That was part of the New Deal. It's the recognition of the Magna Carta. Hold on. Here's another interesting thing. Snow snake survival is that the Magna Carta is void. The Magna Carta doesn't exist. The Magna Carta is what they tell you and me as laymen because they don't want to have to explain what happened. But here's what really happened: is that the king, under threat of sword, he was under duress, was forced to sign the Magna Carta. But the thing is as soon as he passed away, they had to do an end around, and they put somebody in that would actually go in there and do an official declaration mimicking the Magna Carta. So the Magna Carta, the Magna Carta is a void document. It's the document that came after it that reinforced the Magna Carta, because that was what they were originally intending to begin with. But it was not when you're forced to, if somebody puts a gun to your head, you will agree to anything they say. And the thing is, in the court of law, you are not bound by those commitments because there's a general expectation that your natural instinct is to survive. And so if your natural instinct is when you're under threat, okay, and you capitulate, it's not because it was your choice. Your choice was taken away from you. And the whole thing about law, it's all about choice. And so, I mean, that's just a brief introduction. Actually, DFH, there was a lot of parts. So, like, they took certain things from, like, Switzerland and different parts of Europe that had good systems. Just like, honestly, it would be the same thing as if we took all the good parts of the homeless services and we just said, this is the services that are going to be offered. They're going to be uniform. It's going to be across the board. You know, that's essentially what the Constitution was. But why did we have to write the Constitution? That's the question. Because we were under the Articles of Confederation. What were the Articles of Confederation? What was so important about them to where Thomas Paine had to decided to become the federal farmer, and they had this big old public battle in the newspaper with the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, and it was all over the Bill of Rights. If the original, what we call the Founding Fathers, the Constitutional Convention, which are not the original Founding Fathers, the original Founding Father is Thomas Paine. He wrote Common Sense, and in Common Sense, he outlines federalism, which is still a new concept of the time. We think it's been around for a long time, but it was a new concept. It was a liberal concept. So the true Founding Father is Thomas Paine. And when he saw what the monarchists were doing by wrapping themselves in federalism and trying to rewrite the document that was agreed upon way before the war even started. So, always have a healthy level of skepticism. Yes, I agree with you, man. But the Articles of Confederation were like this: the government was nothing more than an administrative service. They did record keeping. They had no teeth. They had no way to enforce it. It was the closest thing to anarchy that you could get without anarchy. Okay, that was federalism. They had no way to lay and collect taxes. They came out with before the war, which is what really sparked the war, was the elimination of the colonials. Well, they tried to re-implement the colonials after the war, and that's what everybody goes to and says, oh, that's what happens with fiat currency. Well, it actually worked in tandem with gold before the war. After the war, that became the common currency, and that's why it didn't work. That's why cryptocurrency works, is because it works in tandem with physical currency. And so therefore you have the balance, but as soon as you go strictly crypto, we're going to see the same thing that we saw with the dollar, okay, and with every other currency, because you need the competing currencies for different reasons, okay? And when they tried to do that, the federal government wasn't able to pay its war debt. So as a way to go to what we now know as a constitutional convention, we even know guys knew that they would be convicted of treason if they were caught doing what it was that they were doing. So we have a new America, and yet we have these people that we call our founding fathers that were being treacherous to the original American ideal, which is self-governance. Okay, and there were plans put in to evolve the government to it over time. By the 1830s, we had federal territory overlays that mimicked the same metes and bounds as as the the sovereign states. Okay, so the Constitution wasn't really supposed to be written. All they were supposed to do was figure out a way for the government to lay and collect taxes. They could have made it an amendment and come up with an efficient way to be able to do it. But instead, what they did is they centralized power and set the government up to be what it is today. A lot of people think that our founding fathers would roll over in their grave. No, this is their unintended consequences for the thing in which they did. They wanted something like this. They wanted to be the next world power. They put us in motion, and policies have been created for hundreds of years to make us the world power that we've become. And part of that, so you got to realize, like, the British Empire has the stomach to be able to deal with the atrocities of of an empire, essentially. So because they have that stomach for it, Americans don't. We are not an imperialist people. We just want to do our own thing, be left alone. You guys do your thing. As long as it doesn't affect me, we're good. The average American feels that way about just about everything. Just leave me alone, let me do what I'm doing, and don't be a pain in my ass, and we'll be good. Okay? Well, I mean, yeah, that's essentially where we're going. Anyways, I lost my track of thought. Mm. Benjamin Franklin said we would have taken the Stamp Act, we would have taken the Sugar Act and all of that stuff if they hadn't have taken away our colonials. Do you know why they were mad about the colonials? I'll tell you why, just because I love history. Okay? I'm in Professor Tuck mode today. All right. So what was it? In the colonies, there was not enough gold and silver to be able to facilitate commerce. So what they did is they created their own internal currency, like crypto. Okay, it can only be used internally within the United States. Okay, they didn't have to. They didn't worry about forgery. They didn't worry about fraud. They didn't worry about inflation. It was actually a very stable currency. So they used colonials. Okay, because they didn't have enough gold. So internally, they would the colonists would use colonials to conduct commerce, which the Bank of England could not capitalize on because they were supposed to be taxing that. Well, that was untaxed goods, and so therefore the bank petitioned the king and said, "Look, we need to wipe out the colonials, and everybody can only use gold." Well, it led to mass starvation, like a complete economic collapse for all of the colonies, which led to the Boston Tea Party and all these other things along the way. It would be the basically, it's the equivalent of what Biden did over the last 4 years. Okay, is what the Crown Bank of England did, and that is really what pissed everybody off, is because they had a good living, everything was good, nobody was being hurt, they could facilitate commerce, and everybody was able to live fat and happy and make tons of money. But it just the bank got greedy, and because it didn't want the competition, therefore stamped them out. So post-Revolutionary War is when they reinstituted the colonials, which is the story that we hear today from economists about fiat currency, and our early history example of it with the second colonials. See, that's something they don't tell you in the history books. And the reason the primary Brits followed was to maintain their financial interest in the new country. Go read the Treaty of Paris, 1783. We didn't win anything. We didn't. Well, actually, we did. We won our political freedom, but we did not win our economic freedom because of all the war debt that we had to go. Who do you think financed the war? The Bank of England didn't just finance them, they financed us too. That's the reason why we have a central bank. See, Alexander Hamilton, who was an agent of the banks, was sent there to whisper in George Washington's ear, whom he would later get upset and be like, I wish I hadn't have done that. But he got into George Washington's ear to convince him to set up a central bank. So there was a 20-year charter. That central bank was what was being used to facilitate the payment of the war debt. That's the reason why we have the War of 1812. Because, what was it? Jefferson or something like that. I think it was Thomas Jefferson that was in the White House. He said, screw you, we're not renewing the charter. Well, we had the War of 1812, and then there was a First Bank of the United States that was given another 20-year charter. And then we get Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson comes in and says, well, you know what? Because he was a communist, and communists believe that the money belongs to the people. It does not belong to anybody else but the people. It's just a way we facilitate commerce. Okay? So as a communist sympathizer, he decided to give the people their money back by paying off our national debt, by withdrawing all of the gold, because the only way you could withdraw the gold was to pay the national debt. Okay, so he withdrew all of that gold, and even though Congress was so corrupt, I mean, you should hear the stories that came out of the New York Times. This is why the New York Times became so famous, is because this is where they would have their public battles, is in the editorial page. That's what it used to be. And so Andrew Jackson did that, and we went 87 years without a central bank, some of the most robust growth that America's ever had in our history. Okay, that's what set us up for World War I and World War II. Because right around that time, as we're going into World War I, what happens? We get the Federal Reserve, another central bank, the third central bank in the United States. When are we going to learn our lesson? Yeah, some serve less than 4 years, Rails. 4 years is the term, the length of the term if they survive. We've had, I think McKinley was the first one of the 20th century. But if you guys think this is interesting, you like this topic and this type of stuff, this is why I'm building what I'm building. If you want to understand the Constitution's a legal document. You have to understand a contract. In order to understand the Constitution, you have to understand a contract. And then you have to understand how to enforce the contract. And then at that point in time, you're just as free as any king or queen or president or whatever. You are as free can be. Because you understand the contract. You understand the rules of the game. And then you can go out there and enforce your rights. But see, the thing is, just like homelessness, it is a solo journey. What do I mean by solo journey? You can't bring anybody else along. Nobody's going to listen to you. Everybody's going to think you're a crazy crackpot. Because guess who teaches the company line? The Department of Education. Does the Department of Education want you to know how to do this stuff? Hell no. Why? Why would they want you to know how to do any of this stuff? But you're going to have to come over to Patreon. You're going to have to either become a member at $10 or $20 a month, or you're going to have to come over into the shop. And if you just want the contracting, it's $20 and you get lifetime access to it. Every time I add a new video, you get access to that new video. And Bucknut, one served 12. Or did he serve 10? I don't know. It was 10 or 12. Did FDR die early and Truman took over? Yeah, Truman took over. Truman was president for 6 years. But because of FDR is the whole reason why we have the two-term limitation. Anyways, there was no two-term limitation. To be a public servant was something that rich people did to give back to their country for their gratitude for being able to make the money that they make. And then as the corporations started taking over, it became a corporatocracy. But that's also part of our Reorganization Act in the 1870s. You know, that's something you should definitely think about. Sam, get out of there. Oh, guys, I gotta put this stuff away so it doesn't go bad. 1 second. None of this is for you, little girl, so quit thinking. Because it ain't happening. Cheese, okay. All right. So, sorry, I got the sun right in my eyes. I'm kind of trying to see if I can get this to go until dark, but it doesn't get dark for like another 45 minutes. I want to show off these lights because they're kind of nice, but the sun is right there. That's why you see this on my face. Okay, Department of Education is largely worthless, as the states are primarily responsible for hiring, curriculum, salary, fundraising, testing, etc. Okay, Matthew, but here, let me pose something to you. Okay, you got Walmart, right? When you go to a new when you go to a new employee orientation, what do? They give you the company handbook. They teach you what the company wants you to know. They don't teach you the right way to do it. They teach you the company's way to do it because they have their way to do it, and then everybody else has another way to do it. So with that being said, what do you think the Department of Education is? It's controlled by the federal government to ensure that they can they can have complete control over the type of education, the amount of education, and what you're educated about. Yes, the states may fund it, but curriculum goes all the way up to the Aspen Institute. And if you want to understand, if you really want something, a really good rabbit hole to go under, go to the Aspen Institute. This was probably maybe 10 years ago or so, maybe longer, where they did a seminar on digital literacy. Look at it then, and then look at how it's being educated today about digital literacy. Okay, that is where all of our educational policies, curriculum, and everything else comes out of. And they have the ear of the president. Okay, and general, I think even Margaret Thatcher called HW to the Aspen Institute to have a conversation as she was there doing business. So, Bucknut. Okay, Matthew the King. Okay, FDR served 12. 33 to 45. Okay. I'll check it out. Yeah, okay. But I mean that's just kind of where we're at. You know, the world is not what it seems. All these magicians have to create an illusion to get you to believe their trickery. It's when you start asking questions and you start looking for answers and you actually do it not in a biased manner. Hey, the reason why I found Billy Meyer wasn't because I was being biased. I actually thought that Christianity was the way. I thought it. I mean, I was wholeheartedly. I refused. I refused to listen to what Meyer had to say when it came to when it came to talking about what goes on within religion, so on and so forth. Especially Christianity, because I was raised a Christian. My parents wouldn't teach me wrong. Why would my parents teach me wrong? And I'm not stupid, so why would I fall for a hoax and a lie? I'd be smart enough for that. I mean, that's generally what goes through a person's head. But when you sit back and you start asking questions, you start connecting dots and things like that. Like the easiest way to disprove Christianity is to show how the Catholic Church was created. It was during the fall of Rome. It was how the oligarchs were able to do it. Do you know the story of Peter the Roman and who Peter the Roman is? He was a traitor to Christianity, but he's also considered the founder of the Catholic Church. He was caught. He was he was put on trial and sentenced to death. but he was willing to squeal and tell everybody where all the other Christians were. And instead of being sent off to the executioner, he got to spend the remainder of his days in forced isolation in a tiny little house in the city of Rome. Okay, they actually have his little house there. He was actually on house arrest, and so this is how the Roman oligarchs, because they hated Christianity, this is how the Roman oligarchs were able to save the Roman Empire by reestablishing it through Christianity. But it wasn't Christianity. It was Catholic translates to universal religion. Okay, so they were trying to create a universal religion to house everybody under that they could govern. Okay, so okay, how is it now, guys? Is it still freezing? Can you see me? Okay. Is it still freezing, guys? I'll find out here in a second. It explains why I keep losing so many people. Is it still freezing, guys? Okay, a little blurry. Yeah, that's because of the sun, like, is right there. Like, yeah, as you can see. That is the... Let me turn... Oh, God, that's in my eyes. That's horrible. I'm kind of stuck here, guys. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I'm just kind of stuck with the in the side of my eyes. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna call it a night for tonight. I need to get myself and set myself up a curtain. I might record a video in this lighting just to see what you guys think. Just out of curiosity. All right, guys, you guys know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber. Come on over to Patreon. Check out my content. Become an early release member. I will be way ahead of the game now that I've got my inverter and unlimited power until this battery dies, which will probably be about a year from now. So I mean, I've got a year's worth of unlimited power, so I'm going to use it and I'm going to get to work. So, oh, okay. But anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Night Tech Sam. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. You guys know how to help out the channel. I'll see you tomorrow morning. It will probably be in because I got a meeting at 9, so it'll be after my meeting. Okay. See you guys next time.